Scorpio, March 2026 carries a tone your body recognizes before your mind finds the words. It feels like a low current under the surface of your days, a subtle pull that shifts the air around you. Something in your chest tightens, then expands, as if a hidden chamber just unlocked. You sense movement, and the movement feels like luck finding your name. Scorpio, this month holds more than transformation. It hums with financial activation, with opportunity that rises from beneath the visible world. A golden door stands somewhere ahead of you, quiet, radiant, waiting for the version of you who walks with steady eyes. You feel it in the way conversations change, in the way timing aligns, in the way certain ideas refuse to leave your mind. There is treasure beneath your own feet. Not buried in distant lands, not guarded by strangers, but stored in your instincts, your resilience, your ability to see what others overlook. March stirs that underground river and the water begins to rise. It carries resources, connections, invitations, and a sense of expansion that feels both intimate and immense. Scorpio, wealth for you moves differently. It arrives through depth, through strategy, through the quiet power you cultivate in private. It responds to the intensity you bring into a room, to the precision of your choices, to the energy you hold when you decide that your value matches your vision. Something aligns in March 2026, and the alignment feels deliberate, almost sacred. You may notice a subtle shift in how people look at you, a recognition, an opening, as if the phoenix within you lifts its wings and a faint crown of light forms above your head. Gold does not always glitter loudly. Sometimes it glows from within, steady and undeniable. This moment holds anticipation, a sense that prosperity stands just beyond the edge of your comfort, inviting you one step further. Scorpio, abundance responds to movement, to courage, to the quiet claim of, "This is mine." The golden door does not shout, yet it shines clearly enough for you to see. If you feel abundance moving toward you, type Scorpio Wealth 888 in the comments. Because what begins in March 2026 moves deeper than surface luck, and the forces gathering around you deserve a closer look. Pluto moves quietly through March, Scorpio, and you feel it in places you rarely speak about. It stirs the undercurrents of your life, shared resources, hidden investments, power dynamics unfolding behind closed doors. Pluto rules what lies beneath the surface, the vault beneath the visible floor, the wealth that gathers in silence before it ever shows its face. In this season, that subterranean current begins to glow. Scorpio, you were born fluent in the language of depth. You read pauses in conversations, shifts in tone, the subtle tightening around someone's eyes when opportunity approaches. March sharpens that instinct into something precise, almost surgical. You sense where value hides, where money circulates quietly, where influence accumulates long before headlines announce it. Pluto governs large sums, inheritances, partnerships, assets woven into complex systems. It governs leverage. It governs power that moves through strategy rather than spectacle. As this energy intensifies, you may notice a growing awareness of where your true assets live, your expertise, your connections, your timing, your resilience. Mars moves alongside Pluto now, and the combination feels potent. Mars carries momentum, desire, decisive action. Where Pluto reveals the hidden treasure, Mars urges you to reach for it, to step forward with intention, to claim territory that once felt distant. Together, they form a current that feels both controlled and fierce, focused. Scorpio, this is the kind of alignment that favors those who move with instinct instead of noise. You may find yourself seeing angles others overlook. A conversation turns into a proposal. A skill you refined in private becomes currency. An idea that lived quietly in your mind begins to pulse with possibility. There is a difference between surface money and deep wealth. Surface money flashes, disappears, reappears somewhere else. Deep wealth roots itself, multiplies, transforms structures. Pluto speaks the language of depth, and you understand that language in your bones. March 2026 opens a field where strategic choices carry amplified impact. You feel drawn toward investments of energy that promise long-term power rather than quick applause. Scorpio energy thrives in terrain that feels complex, layered, rich with nuance. In that terrain, your vision extends further than most. Mars adds heat to your perception. It fuels courage in subtle ways, a firmer voice, a steadier gaze, a willingness to ask for terms that reflect your true worth. The shift feels internal first. You begin to occupy space differently, as if an invisible crown settles more securely upon your head. Scorpio, wealth for you emerges from transformation. Each time you shed an outdated identity, you free up energy that converts into opportunity. Each time you release a fear around power or visibility, you expand your earning potential in ways that surprise even you. The alchemy happens quietly, yet the results ripple outward. You may sense moments in March when a door appears almost casually, a partnership offer, a leadership role, a financial idea that aligns with your long-term vision. Your intuition activates before logic finishes its calculations. You recognize patterns, you read motives, you anticipate shifts in the market of human behavior. This is where your edge lives, Scorpio. In the willingness to walk into depth where others skim the surface, in the courage to explore the layers of influence and capital that remain unseen, in the calm certainty that your power grows stronger the further inward you travel. Pluto's activation feels like a whisper in a vault, a soft echo that says there is more here than meets the eye. Mars answers with a steady pulse, urging movement, inviting ownership. And as these forces converge around you, Scorpio, a quiet realization begins to form, the kind that leads to a choice between two very different paths of reality. There comes a moment, Scorpio, when the current beneath you splits into two directions. You can feel it in your body before you define it in words. One path feels familiar, steady, contained within the borders you already know. The other carries expansion, a wider field of influence, larger rooms, conversations about numbers that once felt distant. Both paths belong to you. One version of Scorpio moves with calculated restraint, protecting energy, guarding resources, maintaining control within established limits. This version feels composed, strategic, careful with risk. There is stability here, a sense of order, a rhythm that repeats in predictable cycles. And then there is the other Scorpio, the one who senses that power grows when it is expressed, when it is invested, when it is seen. This version steps forward with a different posture, shoulders aligned, gaze steady, voice carrying weight. The air shifts around this version of you, as if the world recognizes an internal decision before it is spoken aloud. March 2026 amplifies this split. Pluto has already stirred the vault beneath your life, and Mars has already warmed your blood. Now the choice becomes tangible. Scorpio, prosperity asks for alignment, and alignment begins with the way you see yourself when opportunity approaches. One timeline continues within the boundaries of what feels manageable. It honors caution, it respects structure, it circulates within a familiar income range. It keeps influence measured and visibility controlled. There is comfort in this rhythm, and it carries its own kind of dignity. The other timeline feels expansive. It involves higher stakes, stronger positioning, larger financial ecosystems. It asks you to occupy space as someone who expects abundance, someone who negotiates from self-respect, someone who views wealth as a natural extension of inner power. This path requires focus, and it thrives on decision. Scorpio, money mirrors identity. The way you handle offers, the way you price your skills, the way you respond to growth, all of it reflects the level of confidence circulating inside you. When you move from certainty, opportunities respond with scale. When you step into leadership energy, resources reorganize around you. You may notice subtle moments where the fork in the road becomes clear, a proposal that stretches your comfort zone, a conversation about partnership that elevates your role, an invitation that carries more visibility and higher compensation. In these moments, the decision feels quiet, yet powerful. Prosperity carries a frequency, and you recognize it. It feels like expansion in your chest, clarity in your thoughts, a steady heat in your core. Scorpio energy understands intensity, and this intensity now leans toward growth rather than defense. It leans toward ownership. The thriving timeline does not shout. It stands present, waiting for your response. It asks for acclaim not through force, but through alignment. If you are ready to claim your next level, type, "I claim my power." Because as you sit with this crossroads, Scorpio, something deeper begins to surface, a realization about what you believe you deserve, and how that belief shapes the field of wealth forming around you. There is something subtle happening beneath the surface now, Scorpio. The conversation shifts from opportunity to identity, from external doors to the way you stand within yourself. Wealth begins to orbit around self-perception, and you can feel that this part carries weight. Scorpio, your value has always run deep. It lives in your emotional intelligence, your strategic mind, your capacity to hold intensity without flinching. Yet value becomes magnetic when it is recognized internally, when you decide what your presence is worth before anyone else assigns a number to it. That decision changes your posture, your tone, your timing. Money responds to identity. It follows confidence the way water follows gravity. When you move through a room knowing your worth, conversations elevate, negotiations shift. The air itself feels different, denser, charged with quiet authority. You may notice that as you recalibrate how you see yourself, certain opportunities rise to meet you. Invitations expand in scope, offers carry stronger compensation. People approach you with a different level of respect. The world mirrors the standard you set within. Scorpio, this is about self-definition. For a long time, you have measured value through resilience, through survival, through how much you could endure. Now, the measurement changes. It centers on vision, on leadership, on the creative force you bring into every space you enter. There is dignity in the way you claim your worth. It does not require loud declarations. It lives in steady eye contact, in calm requests, in clear boundaries around your energy and time. When you operate from this place, abundance feels like a natural extension of who you are. You begin to sense that wealth is less about chasing and more about alignment. The more aligned you feel with your true power, the more fluid resources become. Income flows toward clarity. Partnerships form around shared ambition. Scorpio energy thrives in environments where depth meets ambition. This shift also feels internal. You release the habit of shrinking your goals to fit someone else's comfort. You allow yourself to envision larger structures, bigger investments, stronger influence, broader impact. Your nervous system adjusts to the idea that expansion belongs to you. Scorpio, your magnetism intensifies when you respect your own value. People sense it. They feel the solidity in your presence. They recognize the precision in your words. Wealth gravitates toward those who embody certainty. The more you see yourself as an asset, the more the world responds accordingly. You become selective about where you place your energy. You choose projects that reflect your standards. You allow compensation to match contribution. There is a quiet pride forming within you now. It is steady, grounded, rooted in experience. It feels like self-trust settling into your bones. From this place, financial growth appears less like luck and more like resonance. Scorpio, abundance mirrors identity with striking accuracy. When you embody power, power meets you. When you honor your depth, depth rewards you. When you treat your skills and intuition as premium resources, the market of life reflects that premium back to you. And as this internal recalibration deepens, you may begin to sense that March 2026 holds a specific window, a concentrated span of time, when this new frequency of self-worth aligns with external timing in a way that feels almost synchronized. There are certain months that feel ordinary, and then there are months that carry a pulse beneath them. March 2026 carries a pulse, Scorpio. You sense it in the pacing of events, in the rhythm of conversations, in the way timing begins to align with your internal readiness. It feels like a window opening, subtle yet unmistakable. This is about cycles. Financial energy moves in waves, in seasons, in concentrated pockets of momentum. March arrives as a turning point within that rhythm, a threshold where effort meets opportunity and intention meets response. Scorpio, you stand at the edge of a new financial current. You may notice that ideas gain traction faster. Decisions produce results with sharper impact. Meetings, proposals, investments, negotiations, they seem to carry more weight this month. It is as if the soil is fertile, and whatever you plant now roots quickly and grows with force. Scorpio energy thrives in moments like this. You possess patience, and you also possess precision. When a window opens, you feel it in your instincts. Your awareness sharpens, your focus narrows, your movements become deliberate. March 2026 offers that concentrated field. It feels like a compressed season of expansion, where action ripples outward through the rest of the year. A single bold move now can recalibrate your income trajectory. A strategic yes can shift your position within an entire structure. There is urgency here, yet it feels grounded rather than frantic. The urgency comes from clarity. You recognize that timing carries value. When momentum gathers, those who step forward early set the tone for what follows. Scorpio, wealth often responds to courage paired with awareness. When you move at the right moment, doors widen. When you claim space before hesitation creeps in, influence expands. This month carries that quality, a sense that the current favors motion. You may feel an inner nudge to accelerate certain plans, to finalize agreements, to present ideas, to invest energy where you once observed quietly. The difference now lies in alignment. Your self-worth has shifted, and March meets you at that new frequency. Cycles reward readiness, and you are ready in ways that feel calm and contained. There is less second-guessing, more trust in your perception. When opportunity appears, your response feels swift yet measured. Scorpio, think of March as a launch point, not dramatic, not chaotic, but intentional. The actions you take during this period begin to echo through April, May, and beyond. Financial structures set in motion now continue to unfold, layer by layer. There is also a sense of leadership woven into this window. Those who act early often shape the landscape. When you move decisively, others follow. When you commit to expansion, you create momentum that pulls additional resources toward you. The energy of this month favors initiative. It favors the one who steps forward with clarity. It favors the Scorpio who recognizes that prosperity appreciates bold movement grounded in strategy. You may even notice that hesitation feels heavier than action. The body responds differently. The mind feels clearer once a decision is made. Movement generates more movement. Scorpio, March 2026 carries a concentrated current of financial growth. It feels cyclical, purposeful, alive. You sense that what begins here stretches far beyond the month itself. And as you continue to feel this window opening, this subtle acceleration gathering strength around you, something inside begins to form into a quiet declaration, a readiness to fully step into ownership of the prosperity that has been circling your name. Scorpio, you have walked through layers in this journey, through depth, through decision, through the quiet recalibration of your own value. March 2026 stands before you now like a golden threshold, steady and illuminated from within. It feels less like a sudden change and more like a recognition. a recognition of who you have become. There is power in the way you carry yourself now, Scorpio, a grounded authority that rises from lived experience, from inner alchemy, from the willingness to transform instead of remain the same. Wealth begins to move differently around you when your identity shifts. It feels earned in a deeper sense, aligned with your essence. March holds that alignment, a door of influence, of expanded income, of financial momentum that mirrors your internal growth. Scorpio, abundance flows toward the one who embraces evolution, toward the one who claims space with calm certainty. The Lhotse sea, the shedding, the rising unlocks a current that was always there, waiting for you to step fully into it. You sense it now as a quiet stream turning into a river. A steady accumulation of opportunity, connection, and strength. Scorpio, your treasure has always lived within your depth, within your intensity, within your unwavering gaze. March 2026 activates that treasure, and the flow begins to move with intention. There is something sovereign in this moment. You standing at the edge of a new level, aware of your power, aware of your value, aware of the choices that shape your financial landscape. The air feels different, charged with possibility, yet grounded in self-trust. Scorpio, imagine yourself months from now, looking back at this season as the point where you leaned into your own authority, the point where prosperity felt natural, where expansion felt deserved, where your inner crown settled into place with quiet confidence. The image lingers a phoenix in mid-flight, wings wide, carrying light instead of ashes. If March 2026 is your wealth activation, type 777 abundance in the comments, or simply write, "March brings my wealth." And if this message resonated with you, if you felt seen somewhere between the lines, you are welcome to stay close to this space. You can like this video, share it with another Scorpio who feels the shift, or subscribe so we continue this journey together. Think of it as walking side by side through the seasons ahead, listening for the subtle currents that guide us towards something greater.